there, cool cats and kittens. I'm Chelsea Face Reads, and I hope that you're having a fabulous day today. I'm excited because today's video is the long-awaited wrap-up for the month of June 2026. I'm going to show you the books and manga that I read this month. I didn't have a huge reading month due to a lot of camps and activities and work-related things. Bear with me, but I'm going to start with the manga. I have 4 manga and 1 novel here that I'm going to talk to y'all about that I read this month, and I think it was a good reading month, just not a ton that was read. So the first thing I read in June was A Sign of Affection, Volume 12 by Sumori Shita. This series has been phenomenal. If you don't know already, this is a story about a girl who is deaf. She was born deaf and she speaks in, I think, Japanese sign language to most of her friends and colleagues. She went to a deaf school. Now she's going to a all college of everyone, not just deaf folks. And she meets this guy on a subway. He helps her through a situation that was really difficult and they fall in love. And it's just a really, really cute romance between the two of them. I've been loving it so far. I love Sumori Shita's work. I've loved everything that I've read by them. So this one definitely is on that tier list. I highly recommend it if you have not tried it yet. At the very least, check out the anime. Next up, I read volume 2 of The Fragrant Flower Blooms with Dignity by Saka Mikami. This has been really good. I love the characters in this, specifically our main guy, of course. His name is Rintaro, and he works, I think, at like is it a cafe or bakery? I think it's a cafe that has baked goods, something like that. And this girl comes in who eats a lot. She likes sweets. She likes to eat a lot of food all at once, like kind of binge it, and then she'll leave and never come back, and then she'll come back like a month later and eat a bunch of stuff again. They kind of strike up a conversation. They start to kind of like each other and want to hang out, and it's going to be a romance between the two of them and the difficulties that come with class differences. She is in a all-girls like fancy school, but she got in like by the skin of her teeth, in the sense of she did really well on a scholarship, and so she kind of already struggles with fitting in there. And then this guy who goes to the, I guess, all boys school that's just like ruffians and like the worst of the worst, supposedly, the dumb boys, and it's just forbidden for them to even talk to each other. So you could kind of compare this to like a modern day high school shojo Romeo and Juliet. I think that's fairly appropriate. I don't think it's going to end the same way, but it definitely has the same beginner vibes. And it's just been really cute. The art is phenomenal. Love the main character. He is amazing. I love the sleepy look. As someone who has lived the sleepy girl life, I appreciate how many people we're getting in anime that are representative of sleepy folks, like Aizawa, this person. There's been so many lately that I can't think of. If I think of them, I'll put a picture on the screen, but if not, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about, like the heavy eyelids and then the lines. It's a thing. So I really appreciate seeing that in anime and manga now. Gotta go check on my pasta. Okay, I'm back from checking my stove. I also read volume 12 of Yona of the Dawn. This is by Mizuho Kusanagi, and great series. I will say this volume, while still beautiful and great plot and everything, fun characters, etc., etc., I think that this one was just a little more war heavy in general. Sometimes I really like that, but I didn't love this one as much as the last few volumes, just because I like a good mix of friendship, the camaraderie they're having, the romance, and the war stuff. This one was a little more tactical and mystery driven by this one thing that they were trying to figure out the whole time. I got a little confused, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, but we do eventually figure out what's going on in the same volume, luckily. But I think I gave this one like 3 stars maybe instead of like 5. It was good, just not what I was expecting. And then I also read volume 1, Tease Me Harder, a sweet and kinky romance. This is adults only, so what I'm about to say is for adult ears only. Keep that in mind before you continue watching this. This has story and art by Fumika Minami, and it's very adult, very quirky, very cute, but also spicy. About a couple who are very, very much in love with each other, and she wants to try things that are more BDSM related. And so it's gonna probably deal with a lot of consent and a lot of personal talking about things that go on in that area of life. And I just really, really hope that this turns into like a sweat and soap situation where it becomes more about them and about relationships and the depths of that, not just the smexy stuff. So I really liked it. I would recommend if you are an adult and you're interested in things like that. It is a 7 Seas title. It doesn't say steamship though, which is very interesting. It makes me wonder if the series is going to turn into a steamship. And it's also a pretty thick volume compared to a lot of 7 Seas, so that made me feel pretty good about picking this up as well for the price point of $15.99. But I loved it. I think the art's cute. It's not like groundbreaking artwork, but it is a really interesting subject to read about. I love reading about a ton of different things, so this isn't like necessarily a promotion of BDSM or any kind of approval of it. You do you. I'm not going to tell adults what to do in their own home with consent, but it is really interesting to read about different people's perspectives on this. So I really enjoyed that. And that was all for the manga. If you were only here for the manga, thanks for watching. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe. But if you're here for the books too, I did read 1 book this month. I am currently reading more books, but I only got 1 read in June, and that is I Was a Teenage Slasher by Stephen Graham Jones. This was a fairly new novel. I think it got like nominated for some Goodreads stuff recently, so a lot of people really love this. I want you to keep that in mind when I talk about it, because I'm not going to crap on it, but I am going to give my honest critiques on this, which I did go into thoroughly in my vlog, which you can watch in the description. I've got it linked there, but only do that after you finish this video, of course. A book that I thought, which that's the first thing, I had a preconceived notion of it, which I think most people do, that this was going to be a slasher. This was going to be a book about a guy who tells you his story about him being a slasher, which is great. That's what I was looking for. And I didn't watch any reviews on this. I tried very hard to avoid spoilers, because when it comes to mysteries, horrors, thrillers, you can kind of get into spoiler territory pretty quickly if you're not careful. So I tried to avoid that. That being said, I think that my preconceived notions really kind of messed me up on this one. It was well written. I love Stephen Graham Jones's work. I would not complain about this in any other capacity than my personal tastes. And there were a few sections I was kind of bored, but it wasn't a huge majority of the book. It mostly had to do with just something that I didn't think was necessary for me to read to enjoy the book. I get how some people might really love that. I love slashers. I read a ton of them. I watch a ton of slashers. I love horror in general, so I'm a huge horror fan. It kind of felt silly at parts of this to read stuff that I already know a lot about, but if you're someone who isn't obsessed with this genre, you might enjoy this a little bit more than me, honestly. I think that if you aren't as obsessed with the subject matter, maybe you would really like this. It did take a really cool turn on the slasher genre though. I didn't expect what actually happened in this. Don't expect a slasher though. It's got a couple of scenes in it that are slasher, like you would see in a movie, so it is gory and gross, but the majority of the book is something different. I'm not going to tell you what that is unless you want to watch my vlog, which I do get a little spoilery in, so just be aware of that if you're really interested. I don't think I even tagged the spoilers in it, so just be aware of that before you click on that video. But it does do a different genre than I had expected. So it wasn't boring. Only maybe like 4% of it was boring. It was really well written, and it was a very interesting idea for the slasher genre. Just not quite what I was craving. And I think that if I had read this at a different time in my life when I was craving something like this, it would have been a 5-star. But I think I gave it 4 stars, maybe closer to like a 3.9. I know that's very nitpicky, but I just want it to be clear that like this could have been a 5 for me at any point. And I know a lot of people love this. They give it 5 stars, no problems, no issues. I just think that it didn't necessarily work for me. Some of the scenes were just kind of not that interesting to me. I think a lot of people will enjoy this who haven't read it yet. But yeah, guys, that is it for the month of June 2026. I hope you enjoyed my wrap up. I really liked what I read this month, and I am still reading stuff for July, as we are about second week in July when I'm filming this, so hopefully I'll get it up pretty quick. Thank you so much for watching. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe if you're new here. I do have a huge percentage of people who are not subscribed to my channel. I'll put the percentages here, which is crazy sauce. I guess I just expected more of you guys to be already subscribed to my channel who are watching my content. So if you are here from that, thank you so much for being a subscriber already. I appreciate you. But if you're new here and you have not subscribed, what are you doing? Come on, I want you here. I want you talking about manga and books with me. I want you to give me your recommendations based off of the things that I've liked. Give me your recs. I'm selfish, I need help. I'm pretty picky, I feel like, when it comes to regular books, but with manga, I'm pretty open. I mostly read romance, but I do read a lot of other things. But I also just like to give recommendations, specific recommendations. If you've got very specific manga recs that you need help with, or book recs, let a girl know and I will do my best to get those to you in a decent manner in video format, because I really enjoy helping people find new things that they want to read, learn about the genre, learn about the medium, and explore new things that they never thought that they were into. So let me know and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye guys!